accompanied to ringside by his Blood Warrior stablemates. And Jimmy Jacobs wasting no time going after the big man.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Jacobs versus the big wig, Brody Lee.
Brody Lee, not only the biggest man in Dragon Gate USA, but the monster, mowing down man after man in Japan for Dragon Gate for Blood Warriors, defeating Mochizuki in one of his 2 singles losses in all of 2010. And now, Jimmy Jacobs trying to chomp away at Brody Lee, and Brody Lee just keeps on coming at him.
Oh, I don't think Jimmy Jacobs wants to trade chops with Brody Lee. Jacobs has all the heart in the world. He may be the smartest wrestler in Dragon Gate USA, if not the biggest, but I don't know how smart it is to try and trade shots with Brody Lee when you are giving up close to a foot in height and well over 100 pounds to the big, bad trucker from the Northeast, Brody Lee.
Jimmy Jacobs, though, not afraid, jumps right in the waiting arms of Brody Lee, who just runs him back first into that steel pole outside the ring.
You mentioned Brody Lee's victory over Masaki Mochizuki in Japan. It was in 2010 that Masaki Mochizuki posted the best winning percentage of any Dragon Gate star in singles competition, only suffering 2 losses in all of 2010, but it was just a couple of weeks ago that Brody Lee picked up that victory, the first of 2011, over Masaki Mochizuki, and he looks to get one here over Jimmy Jacobs as he's just stepping on the throat of Jacobs here with Jason Harding trying to force Brody Lee to break the hold, but I don't really think anybody can force Brody Lee to do anything he doesn't want to do.
And he's got a good majority of Blood Warriors at ringside with him here, and he's got Jacobs right where he wants him. Picks him up, suplex, holding him up there in the lights, letting him think about it. But Jacobs still fighting, trying to get out of it, but no, just dropped down hard onto the canvas.
Yeah, Jacobs trying to fight his way out of that suplex position, but those shots to the midsection, not a lot of steam on those blows, especially when being hung upside down by a monster the size of Brody Lee. A little tough to get anything on those shots. Brody Lee, however, having no trouble getting plenty on the shots he's dishing out to Jimmy Jacobs here.
You mentioned before the size and weight disadvantage that Jimmy Jacobs has facing off with Brody Lee. He said he wanted the biggest and the baddest to start his road to the title. And Brody Lee may be taking some offense to that. Oh, and looking to maybe deck Jason Harding, the referee here.
Well, Brody Lee made his living for many years on the road. And I don't know if that's a road that Jimmy Jacobs really wanted to travel. And it's one thing to injured travel against a guy like Brody Lee. I don't know how successful a road to any title is going to be when it starts with a guy the size of Brody Lee, who's just perennially pissed off.
And Jacobs here taking shot after shot from Brody Lee and now getting back up to his feet.
But that's the one thing that Jimmy Jacobs may do better than anybody, and that is take punishment and continue to fight. And we're seeing that right here. Jacobs firing back on Lee.
A series of shots here trying to light up Brody Lee, hoping to take him down.
Super kick by Brody Lee. That's not something you see out of a guy the size of Brody looking for the truck stop, but countered.
With ease, picks him up. Oh no, end time! He's got it locked in, Lenny.
The guillotine choke by Jacobs. Locked in on Brody Lee, but he's having trouble getting Brody Lee doubled over. Usually it's that body scissors by Jacobs while holding on to that front chancery that forces his opponent down and enables him to really cinch down on the choke and get maximum effort out of the hold. But Brody Lee just so tall. As that missile dropkick from Jacobs sends Brody Lee crashing out to the floor in front of the rest of Blood Warriors.
Jacobs up to his feet, looking to go up and over on Brody Lee, who gets out of the way. Kick to the midsection. Brody Lee has him up. And power bombs him right on the stage here in front of us, Lenny.
He just launched Jimmy Jacobs from the floor onto this elevated stage about 4 feet in the air. Tossing him around like he was a sack of potatoes.
tossing him around here. Brings him right back into the ring. Clothesline just devastates him.
Vicious lariat by Lee, but no. Only two, and frustration on the face of Brody Lee here, as he was unable to put Jacobs away, and Lee thought after that shot Jacobs took out on the floor here, plus that clothesline, it would have been enough, but Jacobs had other things in mind as he's back to his feet in the corner, avoids the big boot.
Brody Lee connected with that. That would have been all. Quick with the roll-up. Only two, Jimmy Jacobs, though.
Couldn't hold him down. Into the corner he goes. Springboard ace crusher off that second rope.
And using his speed here to his advantage. Taking a moment, though. Could be going for that senton off the top.
He nails it. But Lee powers out at two.
That would have been a huge way to start off his road to the title. That victory over Brody Lee after he connected with that senton, but to no avail. Jimmy Jacobs, though, still in this contest. Brody Lee a little dazed now.
Well, that took a lot out of him. Oh, the big boot. That took even more out of Jacobs. Sit out power bomb, and it is over. Brody Lee continues his path of destruction here in Dragon Gate USA.